She spent over 10 years in a wheelchair, until a human fitted her with robotic legs. Amara had not felt the ground beneath her feet in over a decade. The accident had stolen that from her when she was 17. A car crash that severed her spinal cord and condemned her to a wheelchair for the rest of her life. Now 28, she had learned to navigate the world from a seated position, but she had never stopped grieving the loss of something she once took for granted. She worked as a data analyst from her apartment, rarely venturing into the physical world. The stairs, the curbs, the sympathetic stares. It was easier to stay home. Her mother worried constantly. Her friends had gradually drifted away, unable to reconcile the active girl they'd known with the woman she'd become. Then Dr. James Chun walked in her life. He arrived as part of a community outreach program, offering free consultations for individuals with mobility challenges. Amara agreed to see him only because her mother insisted. She expected platitudes and false hope. Instead, James listened. He didn't discuss miracle cures or motivational speeches. He asked about her life, her dreams, her pain, both physical and emotional. When Amara mentioned she had once loved dancing, he didn't say, maybe someday with enough therapy. He said, tell me more about that. Over several visits, James studied her case with an intensity that bordered on obsession. He was a biomedical engineer, but his passion extended far beyond the technical. He genuinely cared about restoring not just function, but joy. I want to try something, he finally said. It's experimental, but I believe it could work for you. Robotic legs integrated with neural interface technology. Your brain would control them almost as naturally as your original legs. Amara's first instinct was to refuse. False hope was more painful than no hope at all. But something in James's eyes, a conviction that felt almost spiritual, made her say yes. The process took months. James worked tirelessly, mapping Amara's neural pathways, designing the prosthetics with meticulous precision. The legs themselves were engineering marvels. Lightweight titanium frames with synthetic muscle fibers that mimicked natural movement, powered by a bio-battery that drew energy from her body's natural processes. But the real breakthrough was the neural interface. James had developed a system that communicated directly with her nervous system, translating her intention to move into physical action. It wasn't magic, but it was close. The day of the fitting, Amara's hands trembled. She had spent so long imagining this moment that the reality felt surreal. James attached the prosthetics with gentle precision, his fingers steady and confident. Then he helped her stand. She stood. For the first time in 10 years, Amara stood on her own 2 feet. Her vision blurred with tears. Her knees were locked, her balance uncertain, but she was standing. Take my hand, James said softly. She did. His grip was warm, reassuring. Together, they took a step, then another. Her new legs moved with surprising naturalness, the neural interface translating her impulses into fluid motion. It felt like learning to walk for the first time, clumsy, exhilarating, terrifying, and utterly beautiful. Within weeks, she was walking freely. Within months, she was dancing. James recorded the first time she danced in her living room, moving to music she hadn't allowed herself to listen to in a decade. When she watched the video later, she saw what the camera captured, a woman reborn. But more than that, she saw James in the background, tears streaming down his face, witnessing the miracle he had created. Why did you care so much? She asked him one evening, as they sat on her balcony, watching the sunset. Because I saw someone the world had given up on, James said. Someone brilliant and strong and full of life, trapped by circumstances. And I thought, if I have skills that could change that, how could I not try? But you took a huge risk. I could have rejected the prosthetics. The surgery could have failed. I know, James said. But I also knew that you deserved the chance to choose. Not for me, not for your mother, but for you. You deserved to know what was possible. Amara looked at this man who had seen beyond her limitations and believed in her potential when she had stopped believing in herself. She realized that true humanity wasn't measured in what we could do for ourselves, but in what we were willing to risk for others. She reached out and took his hand, no longer needing it for balance, but for connection. Thank you, she whispered, for giving me back my life. Thank you, James replied, for giving me the honor of helping you find it again.